Hello everyone, and in this video we're going to be working on fixing a leak that we have in our shower. So sometimes what happens with these things is that there can be rubber seals on the end of these cartridges, and if you've got it set up like this, you know, no matter how hard you crank down these valves, like they're not going to stop water from continuing to drip. So what we're going to be doing is taking out these pieces in order to fix any dripping or leaking. And so you've got three separate valves, a cold, diverter, and a hot. And so in this case, these are what these things look like. Sometimes there will be some additional pieces like trim that kind of goes on the back side of these things. In my case, I can't really get it in because of the stone, but you know, the trim will be behind it just to make it look pretty. And so what you do to fix these things is you're going to need the following tools. You can use a pick or you could use a flathead screwdriver. The job of this is to basically get in there and then to remove the face cover. If you currently have a face cover on, these things commonly fall off and get lost. Then the next thing you'll do is you'll open this guy up. I've turned off the water, but there's still some residual pressure. So you're basically just loosening this guy all the way up. And then on the inside of this will be a Phillips screwdriver. So got a Phillips right here. Going to put this guy in. And going to undo that. And obviously you don't want to drop stuff down the drain, that would suck. So what you can do, if you have a drain like this, is you can close it so that that will not happen. And now this thing can just come right off. And now, depending on your particular setup, it can be kind of difficult to get to this. Crescent wrenches are really helpful because they can be any size you need. And sometimes you're able to just get in there like this, but in other situations, you might not have enough access, and so that's where you'll need this tool that a lot of people have, and it's literally just a pipe that has the ends of the particular thing to clamp on. And so what you want to do is you want to be rotating the bigger nut that's on the inside of this thing, not this one right there, but the one farther in. And so that's the reason why you'll come in with this guy, slide that on there, and then you will come in with a crescent wrench in order to actually undo this. If you don't have a crescent wrench, you can also turn to a screwdriver. You stick it into this hole. I kind of don't like doing that because I feel like I'm torquing on the valve, but that's how we're able to get this valve off. Just put that in there. And you don't want to over torque these things, you want to be real careful. But yeah, there you go. So it's coming undone. Right there. Gonna put this camera on the tripod as well to make my life a little bit easier. But yeah, here's another angle for you guys. That's what it looks like. So basically these valves come all the way out like that, and sometimes you can get junk stuck in there like this, random stone. But yeah, this is how these things should look. As you can see, the issue is that over time, you can see by this little indent right there that there's a piece inside there that's supposed to press down onto the rubber to create the seal that stops water from flowing when you want to turn the water off. And so in these cases, it's common that this will fail. So very easy to replace these. You just come in with your Phillips screwdriver and you can undo that. In my case, this looks to be okay right now, so I'm just going to leave it on. I'm just going to tighten it down too, just so it doesn't want to wander off. But yeah, that's what the valve should look like. And then the other thing we'll do is we will take, there's a gasket that should go around the outside of this thing, as well as the nylon tape. So what we're gonna do is go get that. the way these guys should work or look. So you put that guy right over like that. And then with your nylon tape, it's important to tape it up so that it's going it's going clockwise into this thing, because when you're threading it in, you don't want this to be undoing itself. So with this tape, and when you're done with this, you can tear it off. Yeah, if you don't have scissors. So that's how it should look. Got a nice seal, got our nylon tape around it, got a little rubber washer right there. And now we can just thread this guy back in. And also, if you can, you just want to make sure you've got all this crap out, because ideally you want to have the best connection you can have inside there, because you don't want to have water dripping too much. So yeah, so we've got that looking good. And now we'll thread this guy back in. Okay. Take a crescent wrench. You don't want to over torque it, but you do want to make sure it's decently on. Okay. Happy with that. Also, if this is a new valve set, there will be this little sleeve here. So you just thread this sleeve in like that. Now you can install the old, or the faceplate to this handle. Take your Phillips screwdriver, screw this guy in. And then thread this guy down to the off position. And you can take your cover if you have it, line it up straight, put it in there, and job done.